Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is FPL Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 28 review and my Game Week 29 team selection. It's been quite a while since I made a video. I made one on the free hit guide for Game Week 28. I was supposed to get out a team selection video for Game Week 28, but I actually ran out of time. I had all the graphics done for that and I was about to record the video and the game week had already started. So yeah, no point getting that one out. But yeah, I'm early this time and I'm getting the Game Week 29 team selection for you guys. I'm actually flying to Hong Kong tomorrow on Thursday. So yeah, basically I'm having to film this now. I won't be able to film for the next couple of game weeks and I might have a bit of issue getting team news and stuff like that when I'm over. But yeah, I'm having a really nice time, having a really nice holiday, and yeah, I'm gonna put FPL a bit on the back burner and just make my transfers here and there. But let's get straight into how I did in Game Week 28. So Game Week 28 was, of course, when I played my free hit, and it went all right, to be honest. 60 points, a nice green arrow of about 100,000 places, but to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with it. Obviously, a nice green arrow and 60 points was a good score for the week, but I was hoping on getting a few more points because I know Game Week 29 will be a red arrow for me, almost guaranteed. So basically, all these places that I've made up now, I might basically lose them in the next game week. I was absolutely forced to use the free hit. I would have only had 4 players going into the game week. Funnily enough, I would have actually scored 41 points with just the 4 players because I would have had Saka captain. But yeah, I was basically forced into free hitting in this game week, so I don't regret the decision. But yeah, there were some 50-50s that very heavily went against me. I went for Tony rather than Isak. That was a huge 50-50 there. Lost out on 11 points there, and the 50-50 between captaining Kane over Saka cost me another 12. So this could have easily been an 80-pointer, and I would have been way higher in the ranks if those two decisions had been different. But yeah, those were the decisions that I made, and yeah, it was a pretty good game week. Saka absolutely carried the team there with 18 points, pretty much the only player returning very well. Watkins obviously getting a return, Son, Kane getting a goal as well, Madison getting an assist, and I was very happy about Martinez. He was a last-minute addition. I had Kepa in goal. I had double Chelsea defence, but I thought I wanted a Aston Villa defender in there somewhere, so I got him in last minute. And funnily enough, Aston Villa were the only team in the blank game week who actually kept a clean sheet, so that was quite funny. Chilwell there as well, being very disappointing, only get 1 point. He was absolutely unreal in the game. He was creating so many chances. He was very unlucky not to get the assist as well for the first for the João Felix goal. It was basically his cross that got deflected back to João Felix, so it doesn't count in FPL terms. But yeah, a bit disappointing on the free hit, to be honest. Again, Martinelli was another player I looked at. I took him out because of the minutes concerns. He played 120 minutes in the Europa League, but to be honest, I probably should have just disregarded that and gone for him anyway. I knew he was a better asset than Ødegaard, and free hits are not really for playing it safe, to be honest. They are made for taking some risks. So yeah, I kind of wish I was a bit more risky going for the likes of Isak and Martinelli. It was certainly a good game week for differentials, though. If you saw my Game Week 28 recommendation video, I recommended the likes of Ayling and Porro. They both managed to get attacking returns. I did say they were quite attacking defenders in that video. Harrison as well and Barnes were both players who managed to score in the game week. So yeah, I would have liked to have had them. Maybe I had Barnes over Madison. But yeah, I'll take the 60 points. I've now no longer got the free hit, so I obviously can't use that in the upcoming blank Game Week 32 and double Game Week 34, which have now both been announced. So luckily, all my transfer plans are going as planned because, yeah, they've all been announced. They've all been confirmed. But yeah, we'll move on to Game Week 29, the Game Week 29 team selection. And yeah, so this is how the team looks. Obviously, there is a lot of orange in this team. I've taken this screenshot from the app. They have all, I think orange and yellows are the same color on the app. So yeah, basically, I'm not worrying about the injuries. Nketiah is someone who I'm going to be moving on at some point very soon anyways, either going to be this week or next week. Bueno can go last on the bench, so that's fine. Bench boost is completely out of the question for me this game week. If that wasn't obvious, I would have to take a -12 to make a viable bench boost. All 4 of those players on my bench, I'm pretty much going to score 0. So yeah, and there's even players in the starting lineup, so it would just be it would be a silly idea to try and bench boost this game week. But yeah, Rashford should be fine. He's been spotted in training on his own. He should be good for the game week. Darwin should be fine. I think he was announced fit and should be in contention. And I believe that Liverpool are going to put out their strongest lineups for this upcoming double, a very tough double on paper. So yeah, I reckon he will start, but he might become a bit of a rotation worry in the future. And Haaland is probably the biggest concern in the starting lineup. He was nursing a groin injury, and I don't think he's been spotted in training yet. And I think his dad actually mentioned that it was a bit of a painful injury. So yeah, I will definitely have to keep my eyes out on that. I would have much rather recorded this video after all the press conference news, but I'm having to record it now. But yeah, Nketiah will either leave the team this week or next game week. Basically, in terms of transfers, I've not made any this game week. And to be honest, this is probably the most stuck I've ever been in terms of transfers this season. I'm really not too sure what to do at all. I've got an eye on game week 32 as I don't have my free hit anymore. So I don't want to get too many teams who blank in that game week. So I'm not really too keen on the United and Chelsea assets, the Manchester United assets. Because the doubles aren't that great. What I really love about this double game week is that there aren't any standout options at all. You've either got a good team who's got tough fixtures or a out of form team who have got great fixtures. So there's a massive variety this game week. I think you can respectively pick a lot of different options in this game week. And I'm very excited to be owning the triple up on Liverpool assets here. Salah, Darwin and Trent. Again, I was excited about that for the Bournemouth fixture. They all did terribly. And that's probably the main reason why I'm massively been put off captaining Salah this game week. He's so much of a differential that I'll be happy if he scores no matter what. The armband is currently on Mitoma. It's not on Rashford at the moment. Even if Rashford is fit, I think I will still captain Mitoma, just because the fixtures are much better for Mitoma's case. Rashford's blanked in the last couple, and I really don't like the look of United's double, especially with the fact that Casemiro won't be playing, and that massively affects the team. Newcastle away and Brentford at home, I don't think they are the best fixtures on paper. Rashford could easily score in both games, but I definitely bet on Brighton putting a lot of goals past Brentford or Bournemouth in their double. So yeah, I'd much rather captain a Brighton asset at the moment. Obviously, Rashford, I think, will be the majority pick because he is such an informed player with a decent double. It's not a terrible double, but I think it's tougher than it looks. And the Liverpool assets, obviously, I've got 3 of them with an incredibly tough double. Obviously their double is incredibly tough, but Liverpool this season have played far better in the tougher fixtures for some reason. They've actually dropped a lot of points to lower teams lower in the table, to the likes of Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest and Wolves, and they've beaten the likes of Man City. I think we lost to Arsenal, didn't we? Yeah. So, yeah, I quite like the Liverpool assets for this game week, despite the double looking pretty bleak. But in terms of transfers, one transfer I'll definitely be making a defensive transfer because Strauch might be in the starting lineup, but he's such a massive rotation risk now. I really don't want to own him, even though he's got a good fixture against Nottingham Forest there. Might get a clean sheet in that. I really don't want him in the team anymore, to be honest. Got my eye on the bench boost in 34, and yeah, he's one of the players that will definitely not be in that team. So in terms of who I'm moving Strauch onto, or Bueno, I could move on Bueno and then just bench Strauch. He might become an option later on. I'm more likely to move on Strauch, because Bueno is less of a rotation risk, even though he's injured at the moment. So when it comes to the blank game week, I think I can rely on Bueno more if it came to that. But in terms of who I'm replacing them for, I've got 2 in mind. It's either going to be Zuma or Burn. That was going to be Botman, but Botman is a slight doubt with illness, so I might as well just go for Burn. They're the same price. They play in the same team. I might as well just go for Burn instead. And yeah, Zuma is definitely in contention just because I really like the look of West Ham's double. And I think West Ham are going to pick themselves back up and obviously get themselves out of the relegation zone. I think the double looks very nice. Home to Southampton and home to Newcastle, I think is great fixtures. Newcastle haven't been scoring a lot of goals recently. So yeah, and Zuma, I've been told, is the most nailed on West Ham defender in terms of minutes. He pretty much always starts when he's fit because obviously there are a lot of options in the West Ham defence. So yeah, I don't really want to risk it for like an Emerson or a Soufal because I think they are just a bit too much of a rotation risk. And I want someone who's nailed and is just going to play the minutes. I've already got a Stupinan who might be a rotation risk. And yeah, I just want to pick a nailed West Ham defender there. I do have money in the bank, as you can see there, to get Trippier in. The reason why I don't want to do a Strauch or maybe even Ake to Trippier is because then that limits me massively further down the line for future transfers. The transfers I have planned out to get a good team for double game week 34. So I am probably just going to have to risk it without Trippier. And the reason why I'm leaning more towards Zuma at the moment is just because it's a differential. Most people have Trippier. Pretty much the entire game has Trippier, and then a lot of people have double Newcastle defence. So if I get in Burn or Botman, what am I really hoping for? Because if Newcastle keep a clean sheet, then yes, I get the points, but then most other people get more points, and Trippier probably gets more points as well. So I think I might as well just bat against it. Many people have Chelsea and Newcastle defence, and maybe Brentford as well, quite a lot of. So I think I might just go for a different defence. And also West Ham have Bournemouth in the blank game week 32. So Zuma's very much likely to be the transfer in. And then there's potential for a second transfer because of obviously all the injury risks. That's pretty much going to definitely be the transfer, because when I consider transfers, you've got to consider who you're taking out and who you're bringing in. So even though a defensive transfer might not get the most points this game week, I'm taking out Strauch, who is probably going to get very little points. Whereas in my team, I really like the front seven that I have at the moment. I'm not going to be transferring any of the midfielders out. I know Saka's only got a single game week, but I mean, he's in incredible form, and it's a home fixture against Leeds. Even if I make a transfer to get someone else in, I'm making the defensive transfer anyway, so it will be for a -4 taking out Saka. Taking Saka out for a -4 just because someone has 2 games seems ridiculous. He's just scored 18 points in a single game week. There's no way I'm selling Saka. He's definitely staying in the team. So yeah, that means that Fernandes won't be in my team. Little bit afraid of him. Also afraid of March as well, who I don't own. But yeah, I think the other players I have in the team, I think are better shouts. I think Saka can easily match or outscore Fernandes in this double game week. So the second transfer I might make is obviously Nketiah moving on to either one of Isak or Ings. Now, if I get in Isak, that's obviously a bit counterproductive because I'm then bringing in a forward and a defender who play each other in this double. Isak just seems to be a man in form at the moment. That's why I really like the look of him. Again, the double isn't the best for Newcastle, in my opinion. So Ings is definitely the more favourable one. Certainly a punt and maybe a risk for minutes as well. I have checked his minutes, and I don't think he started 2 games within 3 or 4 days this season, like for a massive amount of time. So I'm a bit worried about that. And obviously Antonio and Scamacca in that West Ham team could easily just replace him if he has a bad game. So yeah, Ings is certainly a bit of a risk, and the idea would be keeping Ings for the long term for the double in game week 34. So yeah, all this could easily change with the press conference news, which will hopefully happen on Friday. Again, I'm moving to Hong Kong for 2 weeks. Nice little holiday. So the time zones are going to be completely different for me. So for everyone in the UK, it'll be 11 o'clock will be the deadline, but for me in Hong Kong it will be 6 o'clock in the evening. So yeah, a bit of getting adjusted to there, and I probably won't be able to watch some of the later games as well. So yeah, it's going to be a very long flight as well to Hong Kong. It's a 12-hour flight, and it's also 7 hours time zone difference. So yeah, I'm going to be very tired, so I'm probably I'm going to have to make my transfers a bit earlier than I probably would like to, I imagine. And also FPL is not really something I want to be thinking about too much on holiday. But yeah, this is currently how the team is looking. One transfer will definitely be made, maybe a hit. It really depends on the Haaland news, because obviously if Haaland is fit to play, I will probably just play him against Liverpool. He's a good asset to have, and then I can just move on Nketiah in the following game week. I'm not confident that any of the forwards that I bring in for a hit outscore Haaland by 4, so I think I'll just play it safe and just make a defensive switch and save from taking the hits is what I have in mind. But yeah, that's how the team looks. In terms of the mini league score of the game week in game week 28, a game week score of 73 points from, oh goodness me, Sin Him Lin. I'm going to guess that's how you pronounce it. It was Sterling Devaluation. Very nice team name. With amazingly getting the highest score in the mini league with 73 with only 10 players. 10 players and not a single clean sheet in the back line. But purely because he captains Saka and he owns Isak as well. Great differential punt to pick there. I believe his one transfer was actually getting in Isak as well. Incredibly good move there. Obviously Pope with the 2 points on the bench, but yeah, a really nice score there of 73. Barnes, a fantastic punt as well. I believe Barnes was already in the team before the game week. I think Isak was the transfer made. So yeah, really impressive considering there was a guaranteed blank there with Rashford. So yeah, very high score of 73 points. So that's going to bring us to the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you have enjoyed. Again, the content's probably not going to be, it's either going to be very rough looking in the next couple of weeks or it's not going to be there at all as I'm on holiday. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you get a green arrow in this double game week 29. Again, I'm not bench boosting, so it's pretty much going to be a guaranteed red arrow for me, just hoping that it's not too heavy. Hopefully Captain Mitoma can propel me up the ranks, and hopefully Rashford doesn't do too well, so that might save me a little bit. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried not bench boosting. Are any of you bench boosting in game week 34? I think it could be a very strong game week with the likes of Liverpool, Brighton, Man United and Man City all doubling, all having very good doubles as well. That's 12 players right there. And then you can have some solid single game week players. Newcastle have got a home fixture against Southampton. Brentford have got a home fixture against Nottingham Forest. And then West Ham also have a double. It does include Man City, but it also includes Crystal Palace. And then Fulham also have a double, but it's absolutely shocking. It's I think it's away to Man City and away to Liverpool. So yeah, I wouldn't be going for any Fulham assets, but you could get some West Ham for a really nice bench boost in 34. That's obviously going to be my plan because my bench is absolutely terrible in game week 29. But yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed and I'll see you in the next FPL video.